In a busy neighborhood on the edge of Lagos, Chisom met Daniel during a season when love felt simple and promising. Daniel was not rich, but he was confident, careful with his words, and deeply protective. From the beginning, he admired Chisom openly, telling friends that she was the kind of woman men fought over silently. His love felt intense, almost reverent, and Chisom believed it meant safety. When Chisom spoke about working at a fashion store in the city, Daniel frowned with concern. He told her the world was not kind to beautiful women. He spoke of men who smiled with bad intentions and bosses who saw employees as opportunities. He insisted that her beauty made her a target. According to him, love meant shielding what mattered most. Daniel promised to provide. He said she did not need to work or stress herself. He wanted her at home, peaceful, protected, and far from wandering eyes. At first, Chisom resisted. She had dreams, independence, and pride. But Daniel's words were soft and constant. He said other men would try to steal her, and he could not bear the thought. Eventually, his fear sounded like devotion. Slowly, Chisom stopped asking about work. Her days grew quiet. Friends visited more often, bringing laughter, stories, and distractions. Daniel felt satisfied knowing she stayed indoors while he faced the outside world. To him, love was control wrapped in concern. But silence has a way of breeding curiosity. As weeks passed, Chisom listened more closely to her friends' stories about freedom, gifts, and men who admired without restrictions. What Daniel called protection began to feel like confinement. And though he believed he had hidden her from temptation, temptation was already knocking gently at her door. Chisom's friends became her windows to the world she no longer touched directly. They came in pairs or trios, filling her quiet afternoons with laughter, perfumes, and stories that sparkled with excitement. They spoke of dinners that ended with envelopes, of men who asked no questions and gave no rules, of freedom disguised as generosity. At first, Chisom listened without envy, telling herself Daniel's love was enough. But repetition has power. Each visit planted a seed. Her friends insisted she deserved more than waiting indoors for a man's return. They said admiration was currency and attention could be exchanged for comfort. They framed it as opportunity, not betrayal. To them, Daniel's fear was weakness, and Chisom's beauty was an unused blessing. One evening, while Daniel worked late, her friends invited her out briefly, promising a harmless gathering. Chisom hesitated, then agreed, telling herself she would only observe. The city lights felt louder than she remembered, and strangers' glances followed her steps. Compliments flowed freely, warm and effortless. For the first time in months, she felt seen without permission. A man offered to drive them home. Another paid for drinks. Nothing improper happened, yet something inside Chisom shifted. She realized how easily doors opened when she stepped forward. When she returned home, Daniel slept peacefully, unaware of the change stirring in her heart. From that night, invitations became frequent. Chisom learned how to smile without promises and listen without commitment. Her friends coached her gently, praising her restraint while encouraging curiosity. Daniel believed his walls were holding firm, but cracks had already formed. Protection had turned into distance. And in that distance, Chisom began discovering how quickly admiration could transform into power when guided by the wrong hands. Chisom's outings stopped feeling new and began to feel necessary. What started as brief evenings turned into carefully timed absences. She learned how to explain her movements without lying outright, mastering silence as a shield. Daniel noticed changes, but he mistook her new confidence for contentment. He believed his protection had worked, unaware it had only delayed what he feared. Her friends refined their lessons. They taught her how to read intentions quickly, how to accept gifts without emotional ties, and how to live before questions formed. Men admired her openly, competing quietly, offering comfort she never requested. Chisom told herself she remained in control. She promised herself she would never cross certain lines. But promises weaken when applause grows louder. Soon, money appeared where there had been none. Small luxuries followed. New routines replaced old ones. Daniel's support no longer felt sufficient, not because it was lacking, but because it came with rules. Chisom began measuring affection in freedom rather than loyalty. Daniel tried to talk. He asked gentle questions, sensing distance but fearing confrontation. Chisom responded with reassurance, her voice calm, her words carefully arranged. She still loved him, she said. She was only changing. Daniel wanted to believe her, because love often chooses comfort over truth. Late nights became common. Excuses grew thinner. Chisom no longer waited for permission, and Daniel no longer knew how to stop her. The city embraced her boldly, offering admiration without responsibility. Each step forward made turning back harder. Chisom stood at a crossroads she never acknowledged. One path required honesty and sacrifice. The other offered ease and indulgence. Without announcing her choice, she kept walking. And somewhere behind her, a man who thought love meant protection slowly realized he had lost the very thing he tried to guard. By the time Daniel confronted the truth, Chisom had already changed the rhythm of her life. She woke later, dressed with purpose, and moved with confidence that did not seek permission. The city rewarded her presence generously. Men offered solutions before problems were spoken, and promises before questions were asked. She told herself she was only collecting what life owed her. Daniel noticed the gifts, the unexplained expenses, the sudden ease. His voice carried worry, not anger. He asked where the money came from. Chisom smiled and said friends were helping. Each answer widened the distance between them. Daniel's fear returned, heavier now, mixed with regret. He wondered if love without trust was ever protection. Chisom's friends celebrated her transformation. They praised her choices and mocked caution. They said loyalty was poverty and restraint was fear. In their company, Chisom learned to silence doubt. When guilt whispered at night, she drowned it with plans for tomorrow. The thrill of attention became routine, and routine became expectation. Daniel tried one last time. He spoke of beginnings, of dreams they once shared, of a future built slowly. Chisom listened politely, already elsewhere in her mind. She told him he was limiting her growth. The words sounded rehearsed, yet convincing enough to end the conversation. That night, Daniel packed quietly. He left before dawn, carrying disappointment instead of anger. Chisom watched him go without tears. She believed independence had finally arrived. She did not know that freedom without anchors drifts easily into storms. As the door closed behind Daniel, the city opened wider, and Chisom stepped forward, unaware of the cost waiting patiently ahead. Hope faded quietly, applause grew louder, and consequences gathered strength, preparing lessons that admiration could not soften, while time watched calmly, patient and exacting, refusing mercy for everyone involved.